Welcome to our first virtual Relativity Fest Chicago. We're very grateful that you've decided to make this digital pivot with us, and so thankful that you've carved out time during this week in your busy schedule. One of the big benefits of being able to host this event virtually is we can be so much more inclusive with our global community. We have representation from more than 40 countries around the world, and more than 5,000 people have registered. Thank you so much for making the time to join us. And a big thank you to all of our Relativity certified administrators, experts, and masters. Thank you for investing so deeply in your skills on our platform. It means the world to us. And to all of our Trace customers, you've showed up in force, breaking records in your attendance here. And last, thank you so much to all of you who contributed submissions for our Innovation Awards. We have more nominees this year than ever. But Fest doesn't exist in a vacuum. The events in the world that are transpiring right now impact all of us. And while we are still all enduring a global health and financial crisis, we're focused on how together we can move forward. One of the reasons I was so excited to join Relativity almost a year and a half ago was to become a part of an incredible community, a community that is defined by the deep personal and professional bonds that tie so many of us together, a community that has proven to be both resilient and innovative in the face of this global pandemic. And for many, including myself, Fest is the manifestation of our community. Connections at Fest between Relativity team members and all of you, members of our community, enable us to better understand your needs and to drive our platform forward under the directions that are most important to you. And for me, a real standout memory from last year's Fest was sitting down with a group of our customers from Australia, where we heard in a very constructive and precise way some of the capabilities that we were falling short of, specifically for processing and productions in Australia. Due to our gaps, many of them had to utilize several different point solutions, which created all kinds of problems for their IT administrators, for their users, and for their admins. Upon hearing that customer feedback, we took it to heart. It was just delivered so constructively and actionably. We went back and we made a priority decision to pursue it. And I'm so happy to report that in just a few weeks in October, we'll be releasing the capabilities that that group of customers needed. Fest changes our roadmap. Your impact changes our roadmap. We know that you'll measure Fest's success for you by virtue of what value we can create for you. So we're focused on driving value for you in three primary ways. The first, we're going to help you connect with Relativians and with your peers as we recognize how important connections are as a part of Fest. Now, connecting in a virtual world is a bit different than in the physical world, but you can absolutely still make meaningful connections. And we've put real thought into cultivating those experiences for you. Whether you choose to stop by and ask the expert session, or perhaps go to the Relativity experience to speak with the subject matter expert, or for perhaps something lighter, like a cooking class, we've got something for you. Second, we're committed to providing you the continuing education and the thought leadership that you've come to expect from Fest. We have more than 100+ sessions that you'll be exposed to this week. And if you can't make it to more than one at a time, you have a conflict, no worries. These sessions will be available online until October 31st. And finally, we want to make sure that you leave with plenty of updates about what's coming and the capabilities of RelativityOne that will help you do your job more easily and efficiently. Relativity has always been committed to serving the communities in which we live and work, and sharing in the abundance that technology can create. Our founder, Andrew Saja, has long held the belief that technology can change our lives for the better. And the whole team at Relativity today is even more committed to that belief than ever. Historically, our community outreach efforts were focused on combating the inequity in technology access that hinders growth in so many under-resourced areas. We began with our Wired to Learn grants, which focus on providing technology and professional services to under-resourced schools. We continued with our Geek grants, which include monthly donations to employee-nominated organizations that focus on mathematics, science, engineering, and technology. More recently, we, like many of you, have asked ourselves, what more can we do? And during the Fest keynote last year, I made an announcement about a new program called Relativity Fellows, which is founded on the mission to expand economic opportunity by finding, certifying, and placing untapped talent in the e-discovery, litigation support, and technology fields. We worked with partners across the Chicagoland area for the inaugural class to attract and recruit candidates from communities that have been historically overlooked. These partners supplied more than 56% of our nearly 300 candidates, more than half of which were women. The program launched virtually a month ago with our first cohort of 12 incredible individuals. This 5-month full-time paid fellowship consists of 6 key areas of development with the commitment from Relativity that every one of our fellows will emerge from this program with a full-time job at a family supporting wage at Relativity or with one of our many partners. And through this, they will be on a career trajectory that has been fundamentally changed and improved. I'm proud of the work that's gone into this program, and I'm extraordinarily excited for the bright future of our fellows. In addition to Relativity Fellows, we're expanding our social impact programs this year with a larger focus on racial inequity. And we're doing so in a way that takes advantage of the unique talents of our global relativity community. We're pledging 100 terabytes of RelativityOne to support racial justice initiatives through our Justice for Change program. Customers or organizations who are working to promote racial justice are eligible to apply for the program. Organizations without a RelativityOne license or litigation support experience will be paired with a Relativity partner or law firm to provide software or support. Our mission is to empower this community to tackle the most important issues of our day by providing the technology needed to organize data, discover the truth, and act on it. We're excited to get you involved. Whether you have a pressing case or if you're a partner or a law firm and you're going to offer a helping hand, we thank you. If you're interested in getting involved or learning more about Justice for Change, please reach out to us at socialimpact@relativity.com. Finally, to formalize the work that we've been doing for years and to rise to an even greater level of commitment, I'm pleased to announce that Relativity has decided to join the Pledge 1% movement. This is a growing list of companies who commit to giving 1% of our revenue to social impact causes and to encouraging our team members to volunteer their services and to make our product available through initiatives like Justice for Change and to our academic partners. Across all of these initiatives, matters of inclusion, diversity, and belonging are of paramount importance for us, as I know they are for so many of you. Together, I look forward to advancing our social impact mission of empowering communities with access to education, technology, and the professional resources necessary for a more just and equitable society. In addition to my appreciation for your involvement in our social impact initiatives, I'm continuously inspired by the resilience you all have shown in the face of incredible disruption and change this year. We've watched with admiration as our customers have built incredible new solutions to tackle the challenges of COVID-19. You've driven new business processes and practices forward to evolve with the current climate. These innovations demonstrate what's possible when we combine the creativity and expertise in our community with a simply powerful platform. Let's take a look at what you've built.
The first COVID order that I became aware of was an executive order coming out from the mayor of Hoboken, issued via Twitter.
Our biggest challenge was taking this fast-moving train, which was only supposed to happen for a couple of weeks, and quickly pivot and get it to a point where it could be more manageable. So what we did was we made a custom number of views such that whoever went into Relativity at a given moment would have their queue of work readily accessible. But then what we were able to do is we were able to pull down actually the orders that we were getting in real time. So these orders were changing on a daily basis, if not an hourly basis. So we have like a historical snapshot of everything that was going on.
With RelativityOne, we were able to capture, classify, and tag over 9,000 state and local directives that had an impact on business operations from mid-March until June 30th. It encouraged us to think outside the box.
Just the flexibility to allow multiple users across the country, sometimes across the world, we were able to get access to people who just normally wouldn't have that.
So we're very, very excited about future use cases building on this success story.
And as the onset of COVID hit us and hit the world, we had to have a number of conversations pretty quickly in regards to the future of not only our business model, but also the future in which we wish to operate with other companies, such as Moray.
COVID played a huge part in accelerating the timeline of the Moray-SJP relationship. The core of the SJP-Moray partnership is premised on our secure remote review virtual desktop, bringing to bear SJP's top talent into RelativityOne.
For one of the clients that we are currently working with and that came to us and asked for a review of circa 20 reviewers, in the past, something like that potentially would have taken a little bit longer. And having kind of 20 reviewers working remotely, it allowed it to be an element of it was quicker.
I think that remote reviews are not a thing of the past. I think they're here to stay for some time. I think they're here to stay beyond COVID, because it doesn't mean that reviewers have to be in big cities.
There's the availability now through virtual review for people not having to necessarily be based on site in London, for example, that these people and these qualified and talented people could be based globally.
And what we're seeing is no detrimental impact, if anything, an increase in quality and pace of output.
In this instance, we built a custom workflow that supported specifically the COVID claims process as it was defined by the client and by Carolyn's team's needs. So you have the line item transactional information there. And then separately, we're collecting all the supporting documents, the purchase orders, the invoices, the memos that have been written, the related emails and what have you. And we're consolidating those 2 points in Relativity.
The implementation or incorporation of the technology that Deloitte has developed is really going to help expedite it and make everybody's lives much easier.
We were originally thinking we might have to staff up around 200 resources to get through the volume expected. But now that we've kind of implemented the technology and see what we're being able to get out of it, the team's looking like it's going to be more on the order of, 30 or 40 folks.
And I think a lot of the customization that we're building now is very specific to the regulations for FEMA and CARES. And so those are national standards, government standards. So you would be able to save a lot of time in customization, sharing, this hard work with other provider clients.
At Relativity, we have so much to be grateful for. And first atop that list is all of you. Your forward-thinking and innovative responses to the world's problems energizes me for our shared future. And you inspire our teams to create innovative technology that is worthy of you. And now I'm going to hand it over to Chris Brown, Relativity's Chief Product Officer, to tell you more about the vision we have for that technology.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us for Fest 2020. My name is Chris Brown, and I'm the Chief Product Officer here at Relativity. As Mike mentioned, the theme for Relativity Fest this year is forward, because although we are in unprecedented times, simultaneously trying to navigate a global health crisis and a financial crisis, we are also heartened and emboldened by the green shoots of ingenuity that spring from such times. It's in these intense moments that breakthroughs can happen that change the course of your product, your service, and your company. Here are just a few of the dramatic changes we've seen in the last few months. Overnight, companies around the world stopped business travel and switched to remote work, driving massive adoption of online collaboration platforms. Within 2 months of the pandemic, telemedicine became an essential and immediate way to care for non-COVID patients. Now nearly half of all physicians in America are treating patients virtually, up 170% year over year. In our industry, we are seeing a swift rise in restructuring and dispute resolution, heightened attention on risk management and compliance, and an overall surge in privacy and security focus as much of the world's activity shifts to digital. As always in turbulent times, truth is our North Star and our galvanizing principle. Truth moves us forward. That is especially true in e-discovery and especially true within our relativity community. But as you know, if you've been in this industry for a while, the truth isn't always easy to find, understand, or act on. It hides, it obfuscates, it dances. Sometimes it lies lurking beneath the surface, undecipherable across a web of loose connections, or secretly waiting for you to find it in a dusty old manila folder tucked away in a box in an abandoned warehouse in New Jersey. Oftentimes, the vital grains of truth can be buried underneath scores and scores of data complexity and cost due to the rise of mobility, IoT, social media, streaming video, and the other massive generators of unstructured data and digital exhaust. And if that isn't enough, sometimes the truth can be made even more undiscoverable by bad actors purposely camouflaging, stealing, or compromising it. All of this amounts to an undeniable friction between you and the truth. To the uninitiated, this friction can often feel impenetrable, like a massive stone surrounding the truth from all sides and blocking your every move. You know, we aren't the first folks in the history of discovery to face this obstacle. In fact, nearly 5 centuries ago, in the Republic of Florence, a 26-year-old discovery professional walked up to a 20-foot-high stone and began examining it. The block of marble, known as the Giant, had spent nearly 40 years abandoned in the yard of a cathedral workshop 90 miles away in northern Tuscany, also known as the New Jersey of the High Renaissance period. Michelangelo seized the moment because he had the passion, perseverance, talent, and professional skills developed under apprenticeship and had achieved the equivalent of his RCA at the Neoplatonic Florentine Academy. He also had the best technology at the time to enable him to do his work, a mallet and a chisel. So on September 13th, 1501, Michelangelo got to work and spent over 2.5 years culling away nearly 100,000 pounds of stone to reveal the truth within, the statue of David. Later on, Michelangelo would say that every block of stone has a statue inside of it, and it is the task of the sculptor to discover it. Now, fast forward to today, Relativity is investing in to equip modern day e-discovery professionals with the best technology to do their work. And it also has 2 principal tools as well to organize data, discover the truth, and act on it: UI and AI. Our intuitive user interface to enable you to confidently search, navigate, analyze, code, and produce documents, while our AI enables you to leverage advanced analytics and machine learning algorithms to sift through tens of millions of documents to structure, thread, cluster, clean, train, and ultimately surface the most relevant data to act upon. With these 2 tools, each of you are like your own Michelangelo, expertly discovering the truth. Only today, we don't have the luxury of working on one case every 2.5 years. In contrast, each of you manage tens, hundreds, in some cases thousands of matters. Across our global community, tens of thousands of unique matters are in process at any given time. That is why you need a best-in-class, secure, scalable, and extensible cloud platform, RelativityOne. Today, I'll walk through each of these 3 key areas of investment, joined by members of our product team, our customers, and strategic partners along the way. Let's get started. Now, if you recall, this time last year, we unveiled our vision for a new relativity experience driven by a completely new UI that we call Arrow. Arrow represents a paradigm shift for our product and how we think about building experiences for and, importantly, with our customers. It embodies a bold move towards a default simple and optionally advanced interface with a relentless focus on improving time to value for each of you. It is simply powerful, ushering in a step function change in our aesthetics, workflow-based navigation, viewer performance, and automation. And I am thrilled that Arrow is now generally available and in use by our RelativityOne customers around the world. But we didn't get here alone. What is so special about this new user interface is that it has been crafted and created with our community's fingerprints on it, each step of the way, from the earliest vision discussions to design concepts to hands-on prototypes and test environments, and finally to an advanced access program where a number of customers worked with Aero in production for months. From the very start, we endeavored to build Aero differently and have it set the bar for future co-creation with our customers. Aero simply wouldn't be what it is today without all of you. Now, to show and tell you all about it, I'm excited to hand it over to Kyle Disterheft, our Group Product Manager for Aero at Relativity. Some of you might remember Kyle from last year when he made a set of super athletic moves to leap from his seat in the audience, run to the stage, high jump 5 stairs, and hustle to the podium to ensure our live demo of Aero was a success. Now, something you might not remember about Kyle is the fact that
Not again.
Kyle, what are you doing here?
Taking a quick look around. Yep, there's your problem.
Co-workers. Thanks, Kyle.
Phew. Well, I got nervous there for a second. With that taken care of, my name is Kyle Disterheft, and as Chris mentioned, I'm one of the product leaders overseeing Aero UI at Relativity. We've been hard at work on Aero since showing you an early look last year at Fest, so that whether you're an investigator logging into the system for the first time, or an attorney on hour 7 of doc review, whether you're a developer writing a new app or one of the many other types of users in the system, your life is made easier in Aero UI. Now let me show you how. So here we are logged into RelativityOne using the new Aero UI. Our team looked at every aspect of the aesthetics scientifically, from the quantity and type of colors we're using to the text size and the iconography. Believe it or not, it's the details like these that often determine how long it takes us to do our job, how much we're able to do, and how much we actually enjoy our time doing it. Reducing the variety of colors and icons, ensuring consistency across pages, it all has big implications because it means that whether you're using Relativity Trace or Relativity Productions, you never need to relearn how the system works. On top of that, Aero streamlines workflows across pages, making it easier for new users to learn the system and for veteran users to do their work more easily. To that point, this page consolidates all my cases from all my Relativity sites to one single list, so I don't have to try to bookmark all the different ways I access Relativity. I can also pin frequent cases to the top for a standardized experience across sites. And new in Aero UI, I have a customizable tab sidebar on the left to group common tabs together and to drive specific workflows for my team. As an example, for folks who report on user activity or subscription usage, I set up an activity dashboards grouping to facilitate those tasks. And in my queue management tab, I'm taking advantage of the new 3-level tab hierarchy to make sure that common tasks are grouped together within workflows. So it's obvious now where to go to look at all the processing activity across cases. And using the new all tabs menu, I can tuck away less common tabs from my team so that they're not cluttering the main screen, but they're still there when we need them. So now let's open up a case. We worked hard to improve the interactions and aesthetics here in the documents page to make it easier for new users to find their way around. It was especially important to us to update the data visualization colors so that Aero would provide an improved experience for our users with color blindness. Without getting too in the weeds, our team measured the contrast between different color combinations for widgets, and we selected a color palette that's optimized for all 3 types of color blindness. And for those of us who don't have color blindness, well, I think it looks pretty good too. In our sidebar, I've set up some workflow groups that make sense for my team. I've got a tab for checking in and out batches, a group for processing, and some others. But there's one set of tasks I don't have shown here. That's all my indexing and search setup. Despite that though, all my search indexes are up to date and all of the search terms reports already include the latest documents. And it's all thanks to the new automated workflows application. A key part of Aero UI, Relativity Automated Workflows simplifies the administration of a matter by automatically running setup operations for you. Teams can use out-of-the-box automations or create custom workflows for a case or a template so that, for instance, DT search indexes and search terms reports update automatically every time new documents are brought in. And this is about much more than just what you don't have to do anymore. It's about what you can now do with that time, like helping your attorneys use analytics technologies. It's creating that relativity application you've been dreaming of, or maybe it's just getting home earlier to your family. In upcoming releases, we're excited to provide even more automation options until everything from analytics setup to the imaging of responsive documents is done automatically while still being completely customizable. Additionally, this application will be another extensibility point for our developer community, as upcoming releases will allow developers to add custom actions to be run after specific events occur, such as posting a Slack when a production is run, running a scripted job when certain files come into a case, and whatever else you can dream up. Searching is another big area of focus for us, both in Aero and beyond. We've optimized several searching workflows to date to reduce the amount of typing and mouse clicks. For investigators who are trying different combinations of search terms, for example, we've added recent searches to quickly run previous term searches. With search terms reports, we now preview the hit highlighting of terms and colors, and we've introduced a streamlined method for updating terms that can cut out over 90% of the rework you used to have to do. And for those admins who've asked us to simplify the process of creating a new report, well, we're happy to announce that search terms reports now come over from case templates. So new matters can reuse common term searches for PII, privilege, and more. And all of this is just the beginning. Over the next few releases in RelativityOne, you'll see our reimagined vision for document search that makes it even easier for users to discover the truth. And there's perhaps no part of Aero that helps users discover the truth more quickly than the new Aero document viewer, re-architected to focus on performance and developer extensibility. In fact, RelativityOne users today have found the new document viewer loading files up to 30 times faster than the classic viewer. And best of all, it doesn't matter how big the file is anymore, Aero loads them all under a second on average. So go ahead and explore your data. Open up that suspicious email, click into that massive Excel file or that AutoCAD, and discover the truth. Alongside the page load times, we worked hard to decrease the cognitive load times of our users in the viewer by tucking away advanced options at the top, by consolidating viewer settings, and by standardizing the way we show information through the use of cards. A card for the coding panel, a card for the document list, and more. For developers watching, new RESTful APIs control all aspects of the viewer and unlock more capabilities than ever before. Our development partners, Annexus and Intelligent Voice, have already updated their applications for Aero and are taking advantage of the new viewer APIs to do some really cool things. We are so excited to have Aero UI being used now by the RelativityOne community, and we're working hard to continue delivering a simply powerful experience to you with updates every month. But look, it's one thing to demo all this. We wanted to make sure you had the opportunity to hear it from users like you, specifically those in our Aero Advanced Access program who have been so helpful in guiding the direction of Aero. So I will ask them to take it from here.
Since bringing in Aero, we have increased our footprint, and we're now just under 16 terabytes of data. We went from 66 users in March now to 278 users.
Since the early spring, our number of users has increased by 40%.
We have a meeting after a meeting, and what can Relativity do for us?
Because when you have a large databases like we do, of hundreds of thousands of documents in one particular database, being able to speed up exporting and running searches is a key part of ensuring that we are being as effective as we can.
In terms of time savings a week using Aero, our team has been able to save on average 5 hours a week. In fact, on several occasions, we've had clients come back to us and say, wow, I did not expect you to have completed our request so soon. Thank you so much for that. We appreciate it so much. And really, I think a large part of that can be due to kind of the time savings that have resulted from using Aero.
Setting up a new case and getting the lawyer actually reviewing documents, we probably save 30 minutes on average just in that initial phase. So that 30 minutes, we're now able to take that billable time and really dive deeper into the data using dashboards and widgets and let the case teams really experience relativity in a different manner.
Time is priceless. So if you can get back a nugget of your time to spend either on other projects at work or to spend time with your family, it really is, for me, it's key.
Arrow empowers us to spend less time on sort of surface matters and setting things up and training other people, and more time pursuing the substance, which is really what we need to get to.
Outside counsel has told us that it has a new cosmopolitan look, so Arrow has really enhanced its feel and its look.
The new Arrow with the oranges and the, a lot of the whites, I thought it was just bright and kind of cheery, if anything.
One of my contacts at this client actually started a case in Relativity server version, and then as she saw some of the features and performance improvements in RelativityOne and Arrow, actually asked for a case that had initially started on the server side to get moved over to RelativityOne.
The layout of the screen makes a huge difference in terms of the user experience and how you go about reviewing documents.
We can't buy a product just for today. We need a product that's going to be with us tomorrow and going forward. And we view our relationship with Relativity as a real partnership, and the innovation shown in Arrow is really a sign that you too are looking down the road as well.
Thanks to Kyle, and thank you, our customers. It's been a great experience developing Arrow hand in hand with each of you over the past year. Our whole team deeply appreciates your engagement along the way and will continue to invest to provide the best user experience we can for each of you. The second vital tool for e-discovery and compliance monitoring is AI. Our investments in machine learning, structured and conceptual analytics solutions like email threading, active learning, concept searching, clustering, and more that take advantage of nearest neighbor, support vector machine, and other learning techniques. These solutions play a critical role in detecting compliance problems, case setup, triaging and exploring data sets, finding key documents, amplifying coding decisions, quality control, and so much more. Ultimately, AI is essential in enabling you to discover the truth and discover it fast. So much so that we believe AI should be used on every investigation and every matter. Now, to share more about our exciting work in these areas, I'm excited to bring up two individuals from our team. First, Jordan Domash, our GM of Relativity Trace, and second, Andrea Beckman, our Director of Product for Analytics, Review, and Case Strategy. Jordan, take it away.
Thanks, Chris. Imagine if you could detect bad behavior within your organization before it even had the chance to become a story. Well, you can. Leveraging the powerful unstructured data platform originally built for reactive e-discovery, we launched Relativity Trace in 2018, a tool that proactively monitors communications to automatically detect any compliance violations before they have the chance to become a story. Trace packages monitoring capabilities in a completely automated fashion. This ensures that your compliance teams can monitor risk 24/7, but only look at specific communications when they've been triggered as alerts by the specific rules that they've set up for their organizations. And because Trace is built on top of Relativity, you can move from an alert to an escalation to a case all the way through to an investigation without leaving the integrated platform. We've met hundreds of compliance leaders over the past 18 months. We've asked them the same question: what keeps you up at night? What we've learned is they all share the same concern. They want to be the one to detect any potential misconduct in their organization before it has the chance to reach a potential regulator. To achieve this, they're using very basic technology. They're only using simple search terms to comb through emails and chats. And they're creating these search terms based on their best guess of what these types of risks look like in a communication, or a few examples of misconduct that they've seen within their own organization over the past few years. But risk is constantly evolving. Without an advanced strategy or technology, it's going to be impossible to keep up. To address this, we've launched the Relativity Trace surveillance policies, built out for the specific risks that our customers are looking for every day. things like bribery, collusion, market abuse, market manipulation. There are three main components in these policies to identify risk: phrases, metadata, and AI in pre-trained models. Phrases comb through communications, looking for sophisticated word combinations that indicate a potential compliance violation. The second component of our policies is metadata, which allow us to take into consideration the circumstances necessary to carry out an act of misconduct. Let's take our customer complaints policy as an example. We know that customer complaints must come from a customer, and therefore we should only consider inbound communications from external parties. And this is only the tip of the iceberg. We also rank spam. We thread emails to eliminate multiple alerts in the same email conversation. If you are not leveraging metadata in your surveillance, you are missing both a key indicator of risk and an easy way to reduce false positives. A client recently saw a 50% reduction in alert volumes just from their initial implementation of metadata into their rules. The third component of our policies, which we're most excited about, is AI and pre-trained models, which are built on Relativity's deep history with artificial intelligence and machine learning. That functionality, in combination with billions of data points that have identified misconduct in the past, enable us to deliver a model that automatically flags the riskiest content without you doing a thing. Then, as you code alerts as something worth escalating or as false positive, Trace learns from those decisions and continuously refines its understanding of what constitutes a compliance violation and surfaces the most relevant data for you to review. And this is just the beginning. We are fully committed to building out the best policies that exist in the surveillance market. We're excited to announce that we now have 40 unique policies built on the best that Relativity Trace has to offer, with plans to double that by 2021. This is all in service of helping us bring us closer to our vision, to build a world free of professional misconduct. It was great being here today. Over to you, Andrea.
Hi, everyone. I'm Andrea Beckman. As Jordan has mentioned, Relativity has deep AI, machine learning, and analytics capabilities that many customers have benefited from leveraging in their cases. Here are just a few examples. Fully used active learning and completed a review 10 times faster than they would have otherwise, resulting in $10 million of savings for their customer. Fager Drinker shut down a whistleblower defense in 7 days. Special counsel pinpointed a single Chinese character unraveling a 2-year embezzlement scheme. These are great success stories. Since we first introduced analytics back in 2008, our mission has been to enable analytics to be used on every matter. We've had a lot of innovation in our capabilities over these last 12 years, but most recently, we've done a number of things to really make this mission a reality. First, we made analytics more available by bundling it into RelativityOne at the beginning of last year. We wanted to remove that additional cost because we believe all customers should take advantage of the benefits. Since the beginning of last year, 425 terabytes of data have been run through RelativityOne Analytics. That's 1.5 billion documents benefiting from the insights of AI. Second, we've made AI more accessible with a number of usability enhancements to enable more discoverability and just a better overall experience when working with analytics results. Clustering has been updated in the new Era UI. The colors, cluster names, and tooltips have been enhanced for ease of use. We've also added additional terms to your clusters so you can more quickly identify the contents of a cluster and if you want to dig in more. Email thread visualization is now restyled, allowing you to quickly understand the structure of an email conversation. Similar documents is now more prevalently available in the viewer, allowing you easy access to documents you might have missed. Communication analysis now loads twice as fast, allowing you to more quickly understand complex conversation patterns. We've provided more options for running your active learning projects. In just the last year alone, we've seen over a 200% increase in active learning usage with predictions on over 800 million documents. We also just finished rolling out a brand new analytics infrastructure for RelativityOne built on Kubernetes. This provides the foundation for the scalability we need to meet your growing data needs. Last, and critically important, by leveraging the power of automated workflows, we're making it possible for analytics usage to be ubiquitous. No more worrying about keeping indexes and sets up to date. Results will be at your fingertips when you need them, so you can find the truth faster. With all these latest innovations, we're making it possible for you to use analytics on every matter. But this is only the beginning. As Chris has mentioned, AI will be instrumental in revealing the truth within your data. As we look to the future, we're focusing on 4 key AI pillars: algorithm excellence, a world-class tool set, a massive focus on data, and it all culminates in AI everywhere. This starts with ensuring every algorithm or capability we offer provides you the most robust experience possible. We have an API-first approach to building our AI capabilities so algorithms can be continuously improved, and our development community can then build on top of our APIs to offer unique workflows to solve a wide variety of use cases. We'll scale our algorithms from working well on tens of millions of documents to working on hundreds of millions because we know data is only growing. Second, we'll be expanding on our world-class tool set beyond the numerous structured and conceptual tools you have today. These additional tools will help you solve more challenges. You may have foreign language documents or images or videos. Perhaps you want to be more proactive in your investigations. AI leaders like Microsoft have capabilities that we plan to harness along with our own continued innovation to accelerate the breadth of tools that we offer in Relativity, enabling you to tackle a wider variety of problems. Next, great AI starts with having access to a lot of data. You, our customers, often have enormous amounts of data, and often this can actually feel like a burden, but it can be a great advantage. In the future, models you create through AI will be transferable to other cases. You'll have this central hub of intelligence and relativity that's constantly learning about your matters. Your knowledge will be amplified because you won't need to recreate the wheel every time you start a new case. You'll have a solid foundation to build upon, and data stored in Relativity will be more valuable than data stored elsewhere. Oftentimes in e-discovery, we think about AI as a tool to find relevant documents, but it can do so much more. AI can be leveraged everywhere. We plan to seamlessly weave AI capabilities throughout Relativity in all stages of the discovery process to better manage cases and to optimize product operations. AI and analytics are integral to the success of RelativityOne and our customers. We're committed to continuing our innovation in this space to help you organize your data, discover the truth, and act on it. Thanks. Back to you, Chris.
Thanks, Andrea and Jordan. Now that we've explored UI and AI, I want to spend some time on some of the investments we are making to enhance our state-of-the-art extensible cloud platform. In particular, we have some key partnerships and product launches coming up that promise to, number one, further expand access to RelativityOne to new regions while also offering more flexible commercial options. Number two, strengthen security and our ability to prevent, detect, and respond to threats. And number three, improve productivity for admins, users, and the system at large. Since the launch of RelativityOne in 2017, our customers have continued to be a great source of feedback, not just guiding us on new capabilities to build, but also on which markets they would like to see RelativityOne available in, as well as the types of flexibility they need to grow their businesses. Based on your overwhelming feedback, I'm pleased to announce that we are now live in 2 new global regions, Switzerland and Germany, which means that RelativityOne is now available in 9 regions around the world. We also introduced more flexible commercial terms earlier this year. With our pay-as-you-go model, you can get up and running in the platform with 0 upfront commitment. And for increased flexibility, we provide different rates based upon where your data is in process. For example, inactive data in cold storage, data being leveraged in early case assessment, or data that is in review. The goal is to ensure you're getting the right value tied to your investment. Whether you need to spin up quickly in a new location or just want to give RelativityOne a try, the combination of pay-as-you-go and our global reach makes that possible. Now, a critical element of advancing our cloud technology and ensuring that e-discovery can be a part of any organization's cloud transformation strategy is our growing partnership with Microsoft. We are thrilled to be working closely together to solve joint customer problems. As many of you, our customers, take advantage of both solutions across your enterprises. Here to share more about our partnership are Jessica Baker, Head of Strategic Partnerships at Relativity, and Tad Brockway, Corporate Vice President of Azure Storage and Networking at Microsoft. And to help us learn more about how other customers experience this partnership evolving, we are also thrilled to have Sean Katula, Program Manager for eDiscovery and Litigation Services at the California Department of Justice, join us. Jessica, take it away.
Thanks, Chris. Our Microsoft partnership continues to grow and help us deliver faster, more innovative solutions for all of you. Our type product integrations help you streamline your e-discovery process, directly ingesting all of those critical emails and documents to let you take control of your caseload, no matter the size or complexity. Additionally, the unparalleled security of Azure and RelativityOne together ensures that all of that sensitive data stays within the Azure boundary. Lastly, we're collaborating at the account team level, as well as with Microsoft's executive thought leaders and technical experts, to make sure that you get the best solution right out of the gate every time, in addition to moving forward our cloud, AI, machine learning, and security practices. Tad, data security and privacy are in particular paramount for our customers. So can you talk a little bit about how our partnership addresses that?
Yeah, absolutely. And especially for Relativity customers, we know that data security, privacy, data protection, those are really important concepts. And we're just thankful that we've been able to work with Relativity for so many years at this point. RelativityOne on Azure brings the power of the cloud to all of you as Relativity customers, giving you the additional freedom with respect to building, managing, and deploying applications securely and, of course, cost efficiently on the cloud. And then, as mentioned, especially for litigation data, privacy is paramount. RelativityOne on Azure will bring the full power of the cloud and the way that we've invested in and embraced privacy as Microsoft. All that is brought to you as a RelativityOne customer.
So Sean, given that California DOJ is a customer of both Microsoft and Relativity, how did Azure play into your organization's decision to move to RelativityOne?
Sure, Jessica. Timing was everything. We started to look at REL1 in 2019, and at that time, we found that DOJ was already using products with Azure. And with that, it made the process much easier for the stakeholders to be more comfortable with the product and understand its uses. And we were looking at a 2-year process. But as we've heard from other organizations, the pandemic kind of pushed that process through a lot quicker. And instead of taking a few years, it took just a few months, which is completely unheard of in government procurement process.
So Sean, can you tell us about some of the other drivers of your move to RelativityOne?
Sure. The California DOJ has a heavy caseload, and a lot of those cases are high-profile cases that have millions of records. And those type of cases require a quick turnaround time. Having the scalability to increase the processing power and the storage was really a huge advantage for us.
Thanks, Sean. Can you elaborate on the importance of collaboration at the California DOJ?
Yeah, so again, working with client agency, collaboration is paramount. For example, we use admin records, and the client agencies will collect the data and they'll transfer it to us, EDLS, and then we'll go ahead and we'll process that data. But once we process that data and we upload it into Relativity on-prem, we had to go through the process of bringing them into our network, which is via VDI. And again, that's a security, so they wouldn't have the same permissions and tools and resources that you would have if you were just a regular DOJ user. When we moved to REL1, that all disappeared. We were able to bring the data on much quicker into REL1. When it was ready, we were able to push it out to all users at the same time, have the same environment, looking at the same tool and using the same resources. We really evaporated the downtime and the frustration that the teams were having with that before.
Thanks, Sean. Tad, with collaboration front and center, can you tell us a bit more about the work that has been going on at Microsoft?
As we're all experiencing with COVID over the last few months, and just the rapid increase in adoption of remote work scenarios, Teams adoption has grown exponentially. In fact, back in April, usage of Teams exceeded 75 million daily active users, with all the new people working from home and, of course, all the remote education scenarios. So with that, we are particularly excited about the work that Relativity is doing to integrate RelativityOne with Teams. What that will do for e-discovery scenarios, it will enable the collaboration data sets resulting from Teams collaboration to be pulled seamlessly into RelativityOne. And this is a feature that is in progress in partnership between Microsoft and Relativity.
Thank you, Jessica, Tad, and Sean for being here. Again, we're thrilled to be working so closely with Microsoft, and And it's great to hear how moving to the cloud is transforming the California DOJ's e-discovery process. At Relativity, security isn't part of the program, it is the program. Last year at Fest, we announced our intent to pursue FedRAMP, the United States government's Federal Risk and Authorization Management Program. Pursuing FedRAMP authorization is yet another way we are holding ourselves accountable to up-leveling the sophistication of our security, privacy, continuous monitoring, and compliance structures. Across the company, our teams have met each new control in stride in our ongoing endeavor to provide world-class security for all of you. Here to talk a little bit more about this is Relativity's Chief Security Officer, Amanda Fennell, and Brian Thompson, Director of eDiscovery for the Environmental Protection Agency, or the EPA. Amanda and Brian, over to you.
I am really excited to be sitting here with Brian today. Brian, just to kick us off, let's talk a little bit about government agencies and the aptitude for the cloud.
Sure. So, I mean, I think government agencies have been moving towards the cloud since at least 2010 with the Cloud First mandate, and then followed in 2018 with our Cloud Smart policy. In both cases, the goal behind moving to the cloud was all about getting our applications and infrastructure into a more modern, scalable, cost-effective, secure environment. So I think in both instances, we've been able to do that. I think one of the things that I know has been a huge push with EPA, especially under the leadership of our CIO, Von Noga, has been taking a look at the modernization efforts as well and making sure that what we move into the cloud is as efficient and cost-effective as possible.
That probably leads us to the next question. What are some of the benefits you think of the FedRAMP certification?
Well, I mean, FedRAMP has been around almost as long as the Cloud First mandate. I think it was probably kicked off right around the same time, went into effect, I think, just around 2012. The idea with FedRAMP has always been to create a standard approach to security. This allows federal agencies to borrow or to use one specific set of guidelines to ensure that their data is as secure as possible, and it allows a clean approach across the federal sphere.
The experience with the EPA has been something that started for Brian, you and I, probably 2018. It was early 2018. We started to discuss, yeah, it's about that time. We started to discuss RelativityOne as an option and looking at the FedRAMP certification. I think the thing that really caught me that this was the right partnership was that there are times whenever you're in security and you're speaking security discussions with people, and as time goes on, you realize, oh, they think of and approach security the same way that we do, that it's not something that's just checking a box for a control, but it's definitely something that becomes part of the program and the backbone of it. And that commitment to doing things the right way and in such a secure fashion, there's a moment that I think that comes across for both of us when we were speaking at one point, that it just hits. This is the correct partnership. And we both are looking at the same exact future that we wanted to align to for what we could offer for the government agencies.
I think I spoke with Relativity earlier on in 2017 just about, Rel One in general and what their future was, and what their plans were with that. But then it was kind of our conversations that I felt the two things that make any partnership work, right? Which is one, a shared mission or a shared goal, shared passion, and then trust. And I felt that both of us had that shared goal, that shared mission of getting Rel One into the government sphere, so to speak, with FedRAMP, that we were going to be able to sit down and really plan appropriately and make sure that our respective teams got us to that goal.
Probably the other thing I know that you and I have both talked about so much offline is that we had the right people in the right place that followed the right process to make sure we drove forward on time. Everything was on time, and it was the roadmap that we had decided on together a year ago. But I think those are the things I really stood out about the success.
I think that's kind of the beauty of FedRAMP as well, right? Is clear, transparent standards that you have to hit. It's a process that when outlined, as long as you can execute it, you'll have success. And I think that's really where the teams and the partnership kind of shined in allowing our independent organizations work in concert together to really make make this a win-win-win, so to speak.
Well, earlier this year, we were so excited to announce that we had achieved our FedRAMP in-process designation, and we announced the upcoming availability of RelativityOne Government. We're excited to share that as of September 14th, 2020, we have officially received our authorization to operate status from our sponsoring agency, the Environmental Protection Agency. Thank you, Brian, so much for all of your help on this process. Our people together combined made some really amazing work happen, and we have definitely leveled up security for all the customers that will benefit from this.
RelativityOne for Government is a federal platform built with FedRAMP certification in mind, giving agencies the end-to-end technology they need to manage litigation, investigations, and FOIA requests. For these agencies, supporting the delivery of IT services is becoming increasingly complex, and the cloud enables more usability, faster innovation cycles, and eliminates the hassle of infrastructure management. We are excited for a new era for our government customers and our user community at large. And for all of our customers, we're continuing to invest to make security front and center. Security Center and RelativityOne will provide visibility into the most pressing areas of concern for securing your data. It will enable you to easily track multi-factor authentication usage, monitor user activity to ensure the right people have access to the right data, and provide insight into Relativity Lockbox usage to perform real-time audits of support and revoke access as needed. As the trend towards global remote work continues, we will also enable you to see where your users are accessing your data from and act on the key alerts from a single place. Finally, we're advancing our capabilities in user authentication with the release of an Authenticator app, support for two-factor verification, as well as streamlining the enrollment process for setup. Earlier next year, RelativityOne users will be able to use apps such as Microsoft Authenticator, Google Authenticator, or any other time-based one-time password authenticator app of choice to verify their identities. In 2021, you can expect us to invest further in expanding access with new global data centers, to continue to improve upon our leading security posture, and to invest heavily in areas important to admins, such as client billing, with enhanced insight into your usage and underlying data. So with that, I'd like to thank each of you for taking time out of your day to learn more about the latest product developments at Relativity. We've made great progress together in 2020, and we genuinely appreciate all of the feedback and collaboration along the way. Mike started out our keynote today on the theme of forward and advancing together as a community. I'd like to close by providing a quick snapshot into some of the other great product content we have planned so you can get the most out of Fest 2020. We have 3 great general product sessions where you can take a deeper dive into Arrow, learn more about our latest advancements in processing, and discover how you can transition seamlessly to the cloud with a new product we call Migrate. Be sure to visit our product pages in the Relativity Experience, where you can interact with Relativity subject matter experts and see demonstrations of new features and functionality, such as our new collect data sources, including Slack, X1, G Suite, and more. And finally, advance your skills by taking advantage of the many on-demand product sessions that cover the latest with the platform, including our recently announced 2021 server release. I hope you have a great Fest 2020, and I look forward to seeing each of you in the sessions throughout the week. Thanks, and have a good day.